My film project will be focusing on consumerism and the culture around it. Within my film, I will be discussing what consumerism is today and whether we can escape the culture of it. I will also be finding out whether occasions such as Christmas have all become too consumeristic. In doing this, I will look at why people consume and shop so much and why it is very normal for people to spend money on materialistic things. My film will look into the rise of consumerism and how it's become very popular, and how buying goods has become a way of life and spread to many other countries. In sociological terms, you may say that contemporary reflexivity is bounded by consumption, that most of the things we think about in life involve us making choices about things we might consume. The normalisation of consumerism centres around changes in class structure shown through the work of Bourdieu and Featherstone. In my film, I will look into Bourdieu's theory of consumer taste formation and how he rejects the traditional notion of what he calls tastes as the result of innate, individualistic choices of the human intellect. I will also use Featherstone and how he explores the roots of consumer culture. My film will see how these two theorists can see the intensification of consumerism and relate it to the emergence of the new middle classes as a result of social changes leading to more people working in jobs such as fashion. I will also look into how Featherstone focused on what he calls cultural intermediaries. The film will include recorded interviews with people about the topic. Around 4 to 6 interviews will take place. I will include the interviews in my film with my narration over it to make it interesting for the viewers to see what different people said about consumerism. In my film, I will use interviews. I want to make the interviews so we can see what experience people have had and how much they consume in day-to-day life. It will allow people to give me a clear view and give me good, strong data for the film. I will need reliable data, and interviews will allow me to do this. The film will focus a lot around the interviews where I interact with different people to get their personal and true opinions and experiences. This will allow me to demonstrate more about consumerism and how different people are adapting to the culture of it. Consumer culture can be defined as a culture where social status, values, and activities are all centred around consumption of goods. This is majorly the case for society today, and in my film I wish to explore this to see whether we can escape this or whether we are stuck in this consumeristic world. Traditionally, social science has regarded consumption as a trivial byproduct of production. Sociologists have come to recognise the value of studying consumer culture for its own sake, and this will help me with my findings to see whether consumer culture is good. Consumerism is such a major part of people's lives today, and this is what influenced me to do my film on it and explore it. It isn't something that's just happening in one place of the world, and the culture around consumerism is something I wish to find out from other people's perspectives. Recent research and documentaries have also drawn me in to explore consumerism. The term aesthetics has been widely used in consumer research, and it plays a role in consumption-orientated culture and behaviour, such as consumer preferences, meaning-making, identity building, as well as behavioural models. In my film, I will capture several pictures and short videos for the viewers to get a good understanding of consumer culture today. My interviews will also be sound recorded and unedited with a good capture of the interviewee, allowing viewers to engage more with the interview. The photos I capture throughout my film will allow viewers to engage with consumerism and will allow them to learn about the topic in more depth. When taking my pictures, I will use different viewpoints and different levels of exposure depending on the proportion and place of the picture. I will include a variety of pictures revolving around consumerism to show the good and maybe bad sides people have adapted. I will also show the rise in consumerism and why it's happening. In my work, I also wish to show different pictures showing where different classes of people shop and how this is involved in the culture of consumerism. I will show high-end brands as well as taking pictures of unpopular shops that not as many people will shop at. Within my film, I will lay it out in a clear way. I will start with the context, talking about the consumeristic culture and what surrounds it. I will then go on to my interviews and gathering the research. Finally, I will conclude on my findings surrounding the film. My film will also include me interacting with people and them talking about their social and personal life, and this is why it's important to consider all ethics. My interviews will therefore take place in a private space, so all interviews are not interrupted and information isn't shared. My interviewees' information will be kept anonymous and confidential. This will allow them to feel confident knowing that their personal information is kept private. I want the interviews to be comfortable and not too formal. This short film should give an understanding on consumerism and the culture surrounding it. I hope to give viewers a good understanding within my film, and I hope this has allowed viewers to see what it has become within society today.